Good afternoon, everyone, and thanks for joining us here for another edition of our 10 Weather Impact Show. I'm meteorologist Aaron White, and we're talking about more heat here this week as we get temperatures getting up closer to the low 90s here this afternoon, and more of that in the forecast as we continue on into tomorrow and right on through the rest of the work week. We got temperatures forecast to be in the 90s. We got the humidity making it feel even hotter, and that's one reason why we have a 10 Weather Impact Alert here for tomorrow afternoon as we are tracking those high temperatures getting up into the mid 90s, but when you factor in the humidity, it will feel like it's closer to 100 here for tomorrow afternoon. So here's a look at the peak heat index values as we go through the next several days. For today, peaking in the mid to upper 90s, around 100 here for tomorrow. And then those heat index values will start to drop off a little bit as we go through the rest of the week, but still pretty toasty, feeling like it's in the mid to upper 90s here all the way through Saturday. But our actual temperatures will start to drop, but the humidity will actually be on the rise looking ahead to Friday and Saturday and through the weekend as we start to track more chances for some showers and storms back here into Ohio. But for right now, things are quiet. We got partly cloudy skies, actually more mostly sunny to partly cloudy out there right now. Look at that temperature, 91 degrees, feels like 94, and the wind pretty light, less than 10 miles per hour. So that's one sign that we have high pressure and control, allowing for the sunshine, the lighter winds, the heat to build in. And what it's also doing, because there's not a lot of wind, not here just at the surface, but up even higher up, the air is not actually mixing. So it's leading to some stagnant air, and that's actually leading to some air quality issues here for today in terms of ozone. So just be aware of that for anyone that has any respiratory issues, such as asthma. Just try to limit your time outside here today, and may see that continue even through the rest of the week. And as we are tracking that, we are also tracking something that also can affect air quality, and that is some wildfire smoke. Right now, starting to see some clouds building in, but as we look towards the north, you can see this that milky kind of appearance there in the satellite picture. That is wildfire smoke, and it actually comes all the way from parts of Canada. Here you can see this complex of several wildfires burning there in northern Minnesota and more so into Ontario. All that wildfire smoke is building in and actually kind of rotating back around, coming here into Ohio for today. And over the course of the next couple of days, we're going to have to watch this area because some of that wildfire smoke will continue to build south and could lead to some hazy skies by Thursday and Friday. And that could actually have an impact on our temperatures. Now, it does appear like this is going to be fairly upper level, so not making its way down to the surface in terms of something that we would be able to smell and affect the air quality. So it will be something we'll watch, but more so leading to some hazy skies here for the end of the week. But meanwhile, we are talking about the heat and humidity here the next several days. We do have heat advisories that are in effect for pretty much along and north of I-70 now. This is a new update here this afternoon with that heat advisory now being extended here into central Ohio, including the Columbus Metro, as we are looking at heat index values peaking around 100, possibly as high as 105 for some areas. Probably not going to get even higher than that. This doesn't look like it's going to be as extreme as we saw just a couple of weeks ago when we had highs in the upper 90s and that real feel between 105 and 110. So a little bit more manageable, but still pretty toasty here the next couple of days. So as we look at our high temperatures going into tomorrow, 90s pretty much for almost the entire state, getting into the 90s because we will have some northerly winds and maybe a little bit cooler up around the Cleveland metro and parts of northeastern Ohio. Meanwhile, you factor in the humidity, there you go. It's going to feel like 99, close to 100 in Columbus and many other areas, mid to upper 90s and maybe a couple degrees over 100 here for tomorrow afternoon. Now, we are staying dry the next couple of days with the sunshine, high pressure and control, but the rain chances start to build in as we get ahead towards the weekend here on Saturday, possibly as early as Friday night. So we'll be watching that here as we go through the forecast. But for the hour by hour here today and tomorrow, pretty clear skies aside from some of that haze building in with that wildfire smoke as we go towards the end of the week. So your forecast here, sunshine, mostly sunny skies here for the next several days. Highs around 96 here tomorrow, 94 on your Thursday, 91 on Friday, and then cooling back down to the 80s here looking ahead of the weekend. But of course, we are tracking some showers and storms in the forecast here for Saturday, Sunday, and into Monday. Gonna have to watch that, and we could see a couple stronger storms and some heavy rainfall, but at least we are cooling things down back to the 80s here. Looking ahead to next week. And as we take another look at the air quality concerns this afternoon in central Ohio, we mentioned, of course, the forecast. The Mid-Ohio Regional Planning Commission issued an air quality alert for Delaware, Fairfield, Franklin, and Licking counties. Active children, the elderly, and people with asthma are more likely to suffer from an increase in the number of severity of symptoms during an air quality alert. You're asked to limit your time outside if you are in any of those groups, especially here today. And one of the MORPC representatives joined us on The Big Picture to talk about what you can do to help limit pollution.
The recommendations that we give to people is like, simple things like avoid mowing your lawn or like running gas powered equipment, right? Like that keeps pollutant levels low. Even something as simple as like topping off your car or like filling up your gas tank at like 12 p.m. If you wait a couple of hours, any bit of that extra gas that's released that's kept from being released actually does help with pollutant levels.
And for stories like this, you can watch The Big Picture with Colin and Bryn live weekday mornings at 9. Join them for in-depth conversations about the week's news and community events. And with that air quality and the heat in mind, if you are planning to get out and garden this week, make sure to do so safely. Experts say it's best to do the heaviest work earlier or later in the day, not in the middle when it tends to be at its hottest. Also, take it slow, take some frequent breaks, and make sure you're staying hydrated, of course. Apply sunscreen, and instead of spending money on fancy gadgets to stay cool, you can try tying a wet bandana or a dish towel around your neck to help you stay cool. And speaking of staying safe in the heat, farmers in Minnesota are working to beat the heat and keep livestock happy and healthy. To keep the cows cool, farmers use a tool that you may already have in your backyard. A sprinkler. Dairy cows, actually, their natural body temperature is higher than ours, and when it gets too hot, it can lead to a drop in milk production. Farmers are able to track the cow temps with their ear tags, and if they get too overheated, they're ushered into the shade or into the sprinkler. And with all this talk about the heat, it's another good time to remind you about our Beat the Heat fan drive. Remember, when temperatures rise this summer, you can help a neighbor stay safe. Join 10 TV, 97.1 The Fan, and Life Care Alliance for our annual Beat the Heat fan drive. Drop off a new box fan at any Franklin County fire station or make a donation through Life Care Alliance. And every donation helps keep someone cool. And all you have to do is text the word FAN, FAN, to 614-460-3345 to find out how to donate. We'll send that information right to your phone, and together we can help beat the heat. And one way many are likely to beat the heat in the coming weeks is by making a trip to a local or not so local beach with the intent to cool off in the water. However, if you're not prepared, that last 100 yards towards relief could actually leave you feeling a bit scorched. Meteorologist Tony Nargi reports from Virginia Beach with precautions you should take to avoid getting burned by the sand.
Everybody knows you check the temperature first. The sand is going to be hot.
But how hot does the sand get? Saturday was a normal mid-July day, and with some clouds, a temperature around 90, plus rain fell the previous night, so I expected sand temperatures to be relatively low, at least not hot enough to cause burns. At 11 a.m., I started testing that hypothesis. After making sure the infrared thermometer worked on my Slurpee, I grabbed the air temp, then started scanning the beach. The sand was already dry and hot enough to cause pain at 119 degrees. First-degree burns can happen in seconds on 120-plus degree sand, and second-degree burns can occur beyond 130 degrees. After about an hour of partly cloudy conditions, we saw a big temp jump at noon, with sand temperatures climbing to just under 130 degrees. Then I decided to get a feel for myself.
I've just buried my feet in the sand, and it's still sitting at about 118 degrees, but it's not too bad. But once you move around, yeah, that's where you gotta move it. Temperature goes up, and I gotta move.
Virginia Beach neighbors Kiana and Maria have dealt with the same issue for years, and they offered their advice.
Because with flip-flops, you are going to burn the sides of your feet. It's going to happen.
Flip-flops.
No flimsy flip-flops.
No flimsy flip-flops.
Bear traps.
The bear traps.
The
Okay.
bear traps are a great shoe to wear while you're walking on hot sand because it has a thick sole. And take your time walking. Don't drag your feet. Pick up your feet.
Another strategy is going to the beach when the sun angle is lower before 10 a.m. and after 4 p.m. Because on days like this past 4th of July, when skies are clear and temperatures reach 100 degrees, sand temperatures can exceed 140 and cause serious burns if you're not careful. Reporting in Virginia Beach, I'm Tony Nargi, WTKR News 3.
And turning now to our wildfire coverage, major fire events continue to impact not just the U.S. but parts of Europe as well. This video from here shows a brush fire near Azua, actually called the Zebra Fire. It was burning near Highway 39 west of the San Gabriel Canyon in California earlier today. This fire is mostly being fought from the air because of the steep terrain out there. About 10 acres have burned so far. There are no evacuations and no threat to structures. Then near Loyalton, California, crews are actually battling a growing wildfire in northern parts of the state. The Elephant Fire was first reported Saturday and has actually doubled in size since Sunday night. Officials say it has burned more than 12,000 acres and is only 5% contained. It's burning northeast of Loyalton. Authorities are concerned it could spread and threaten communities near the California-Nevada border. And here's what one official had to say.
Yeah, the weekend we saw some heavy winds, even in the overnight hours, you know, those blustery kind of Sierra winds. And, you know, we're all used to that in this environment, to fighting those. And you combine that with the really, really dry, fine fuels, and that was with all the smoke. And you did see it even over in Reno and settling into the valley. So expect to see, you know, smoke over the next few days as this fire continues to burn.
And there's still no word on what may have caused that fire. And as we're talking the fires here in the U.S., we're also talking about fires over in Europe. Extreme heat overseas has set the stage for deadly wildfires, turning forests into tinder. Firefighters outside of Paris are battling a blaze just 40 miles from the Eiffel Tower, forcing people and animals to evacuate across France. More land has already burned this year than during all of last. In Spain, more than a dozen people have died after flames tore through rural communities. And wildfires are also raging across parts of the UK, where authorities say small sparks from things like barbecues left behind can have big consequences.
This is not the time of the year, not the terrain, and not the conditions to be having any kind of small fire or indeed fireworks.
And the heat itself has proved the deadliest threat, with Europe recording more than 10,000 additional deaths during the record-breaking heat wave in late June. And with more on the fires overseas, Chris Livesey actually has more updates from Rome.
As wildfire threatened France's famed Fontainebleau forest, humans and animals alike were rushed to safety. 900 homes were evacuated, just 40 miles from central Paris. Firefighters are battling what they call an exceptional fire, with water bombers scooping thousands of gallons from the river Seine. Smoke shut part of a major highway as firefighters from across France rush to contain the flames. Investigators suspect arson could be to blame. It's a perfect storm, says French Fire Commander Olivier Comtat. We're dealing with three of the worst possible conditions: strong winds, temperatures over 100 degrees, and extremely low humidity. In Spain, one of the country's deadliest wildfires in decades has killed at least 13 people. Driven by fierce winds, flames raced nearly 10 miles in just 2 hours, forcing more than 1,400 people to flee.
Western Europe just endured its hottest June ever on record. Italy is entering its third major heat wave of the season, and ERs here, they are noticing a spike in ER heat-related admissions.
But the heat itself has proved deadliest of all. Europe reported more than 10,000 excess deaths during the record-breaking heat wave last month alone.
European authorities say there is a very extreme fire danger across large swaths of Western Europe, even in southern Britain. And here in Italy, forecasters warn that later this week, temperatures could top 109 degrees. Chris Livesay, CBS News, Rome.
And as fires continue to burn in parts of the U.S. this afternoon, other areas are finally able to return to their homes, but some are finding only ashes. Rachel Ramsey has this report from Colorado Springs.
I've always said this was one of the most beautiful places I'd ever seen in my life.
The entire town of Beulah evacuated as the Aspen Acres fire rips through southern Colorado.
It's very sad.
Now, after 2 weeks away, many evacuees are re-entering.
Do you have your driver's license with you?
Yes.
And Devon Davis and David Steele know what they're about to walk up to.
Do you know if your property is intact or total loss?
Total loss.
The sea of green that has been Davis's view for decades
We used to come here as kids.
turned to a sea of brown.
These were the steps going up to the front porch. It is astounding how nature just evaporates it.
But Davis finds peace in what remains.
Where there's life, there's hope.
This town experienced a lot of damage, but fire crews were able to save the downtown area, which means a lot to this couple and so many other residents.
This is like the core, and if the core had gotten decimated, it would have been a lot harder to rebuild the town.
Davis says she will not be rebuilding her home to the level it once was.
We lost $200,000 worth of value within minutes, and there's no insurance, you can't get it up here.
But she will find ways to help heal her property.
Do mushroom cultivation because it'll help put the mycelial network back into the soil more quickly.
Because she loves this place and doesn't want to go somewhere else.
You love the land and it becomes part of your family, and you don't abandon it just because it's going through a hard time. It's just the beginning of a new cycle.
Davis plans to document her journey as she brings her land back to life.
We are envisioning the future.
The fire is still very active and many parts of Beulah remain on pre-evacuation, so residents should stay alert.
And finally today, we want to check out some new video into us here at 10 TV. And first up, check this one out. This is rather watch out for the smell. San Marino is getting double the stink this morning and this afternoon. The corpse flowers are at the Huntington are blooming at the same time. The blooms typically last over about 24 hours or so and happen every 3 to 4 years. So it is a rare sighting. The Huntington now has 43 of these flowers in its collection, so they've had the bloom on display every year since 2018. And yeah, from what I've heard of the smell, yeah, not so ideal, but you know, still pretty cool sight. And one more before we go for all the SpongeBob fans. And finally today, we want to talk about this one actually that meteorologist Michael Behrens put into the show. Just for me, of course, it is SpongeBob Day. For all the fans out there, Nickelodeon is celebrating SpongeBob's birthday by declaring the first ever SpongeBob Day, honoring the beloved yellow icon that has brought laughter, memes, and memories for 25 years. Tom Kenny, the voice of the yellow sponge, will host a TikTok Live today at 6 p.m. Eastern Time with behind-the-scenes moments, never-before-seen clips, and a look into the future of the iconic series. There will also be a first-ever music release from the Patrick Star Show across all streaming platforms, kicking off the single Watch Out for the Rake, already out, followed by a full album, Patrick Star Superstar, which will be available for pre-sale beginning today. SpongeBob Day will also be recognized at Nickelodeon hotels and attractions, including Nickelodeon hotels and resorts in many different locations, and Nickelodeon Universe theme parks at the Mall of America and American Dream, among many other spots as well. So you know what? Happy day to SpongeBob Day. And if you don't know, talk about his birthday. If you remember from the show on his driver's license in one of the episodes, it actually says today's date. So that's where it all comes from. So pretty cool if you want to watch some SpongeBob. And of course, watch that TikTok Live here later on at 6 p.m. with Tom Kenny. And before we go today, we want to talk about our forecast here just one more time because, again, we are talking about those hot temperatures out there. We got mostly sunny skies in the forecast into the 90s here for the next several days. And then looking ahead to the weekend, again, we are tracking showers and storms here for Saturday into Sunday. And then that will likely continue as we go even into early next week with highs into the mid 80s here by Sunday and Monday. And we'll have to watch the chance for a couple stronger thunderstorms as well. Right now, there's no guarantee that we are going to see any severe weather or anything like that. But, as we talk about SpongeBob one more time, Michael Behrens wants me to sing a song. So, the Krusty Krab pizza, it's the pizza for you and me. So we'll end the show with that. Hope you guys all have a great afternoon, and we'll see you next time here on the 10 Weather Impact Show.